All right, welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the biggest secrets of spoken English. It's this hidden rhythm that native speakers use all the time. And I promise, once you hear it, you will never listen to the language in the same way again. So let's just jump right in with a little puzzle for you. Have you ever just stopped and noticed how some of the simplest, most common words in English, well, they seem to change their sound depending on how you use them? Like a chameleon. Okay, let's take the word to. Listen really closely. In the sentence, I have to go, it sounds like ta, I have to go. But then you hear, what are you listening to? And suddenly it's a full, clear to. Now, that's not a slip up and it's not a mistake. It's a really important feature of the language. Yeah, this isn't random at all. It's actually a core rule of English rhythm. And the key to unlocking this whole thing is understanding that English words can basically be split into two different, let's call them teams. And these two teams are what we call content words and function words. Each one has a totally different job to do in a sentence, and that's where all the magic happens. So you've got your content words. These are the stars of the show, right? They carry all the heavy lifting, all the meaning. We're talking nouns like Europe, verbs like traveled. Then you have the function words. They're like the grammatical glue. Words like she, has, and to. They connect everything and make the sentence actually work. Okay, so let's look at this sentence right here. She has traveled to Europe. Traveled and Europe, those are content words. They give us the core information. But she, has, and to, those are function words. They build the structure and, as you're about to see, they're the ones that are the shapeshifters. And this is where we get to the main event, strong forms and weak forms. You can almost think of them as like a public voice and a private voice that only these function words get to use. Content words? Oh, they're much simpler. They only have one way of being said. Now, the strong form is pretty much what you'd expect. It's the full, clear dictionary pronunciation of a word. It's how you say it when you're saying it slowly and carefully. And all those content words we talked about, like traveled, are always spoken in their strong form. The weak form, on the other hand, is the special superpower of function words. It's a shorter, unstressed, kind of lazy version that helps the language just flow. And very often, the vowel gets reduced to a schwa, that super common, kind of lazy sound you hear all the time in English. And just look at this transformation. It's wild when you see it side by side. The word to goes from that clear to just ta. Has can shrink down to huz or even just zuh. And the word for goes from a big for to a tiny f. I'm telling you, these weak forms are everywhere in natural speech. Okay, so you might be thinking, if the weak form is the default, when on earth do we ever use the strong one? Well, that's a great question, and it's not random at all. There are very specific, predictable times when these words have to step up and use their full power. It turns out there are about 7 key rules for this. We're not going to go through all of them today, but we'll hit some of the big ones so you can really start to see the pattern. Think of these as the moments a function word is designed to step into the spotlight. So, rule number 2 is when you're actually talking about the word itself. In this sentence, you're not just using the word to, you're pointing it out, you're quoting it. So of course it gets its full, strong pronunciation. To. Okay, another really common one, when a function word lands at the very end of a sentence, it just naturally gets a bit more stress there, so it snaps back to its strong form. You wouldn't say from, you'd say from with a nice, clear vowel sound. And what about when you get 2 of them together, like in the phrase to and from? Well, they tend to get equal stress, so they both pop back into their strong forms. It just creates a much nicer, balanced rhythm. And the last one we'll look at, which is super intuitive, is for emphasis. If you really want to make a point, you can force any function word into its strong form. Saying John is the candidate gives that little word is a ton of power it wouldn't normally have. So here's the big takeaway, right? Unless one of those very specific rules kicks in, the weak form is king. In the flow of everyday speech, function words are almost always unstressed and reduced. And mastering this is the real key to that natural musical sound of English. Okay, so we've been getting into the linguistic weeds a little bit, but why does any of this actually matter for you? Well, because understanding this isn't just a fun fact, it can genuinely give you language superpowers. For starters, once your brain knows to listen for these weak forms, understanding fast, natural speech becomes so much easier. Your own speaking will immediately start to sound more fluent and authentic. And it even makes listening less tiring because your brain isn't constantly searching for a strong sound that just isn't there. And if you need one stat to convince you, here it is. In just regular, casual conversation, it's estimated that function words are in their weak form up to 90% of the time. 90%. They really are the background music of the language. And if you're only listening for the melody, you're missing most of the song. So there you have it. The secret's out. You now have the key to hearing the hidden rhythm of spoken English. The only question left is, what are you going to do with it? Start listening for this rhythm today, in songs, in movies, in your own conversations. You will be absolutely amazed at what you start to hear.